Hello, everyone. Good morning and welcome to the 25 Days of Christmas. If I sound a little hoarse, it's because I just woke up. Today, we are going to be taking a look at some Am I the Jerk posts from the subreddit AITA, all about Christmas decorating. I love Christmas decorations. I love Christmas decorating. I love shopping for Christmas decorations. I am currently in the middle of hanging some Christmas decorations. And decided to take a little break. So yeah, I'm curious to see what people have done, how extra they have been, or if they're just being very sensitive. Let's go ahead and get to the first post. Am I the jerk for putting up Christmas lights early, even though the HOA that I'm a part of says it violates the rules and upsets the people in the HOA? I've had a previous experience with this group as I live in a neighborhood that has an HOA, but I was there before the rest of the houses were built and before they formed this group. Okay. I'm not a member in any way, and that has been verified by the real estate attorney. I fail to see what the problem is. So anyway, apparently they have a rule over how many lights you can put up and what the earliest date you can put them up is. The woman who I deal with the most when I upset them came by on November 30th and told me that my lights were against policy and I was not allowed to have as many up as I do. I told her that we have been over it. This is an ongoing thing where she just comes back every year and tries to police your Christmas lights. Are you kidding me, dude? And you're not even, wow. And it's November 30th. I told her that we have been over this before and that I am in no way beholden to their policies and don't care. I told her out of respect to the people in the neighborhood I did like that I wasn't going to go full Clark Griswold on my house, but that my nieces and nephews loved lights, so I would be putting up a fair amount. I also told her that I didn't care about their rules, that the lights could only be on during certain hours, and that once done putting them up on the 30th, I would likely turn them on and leave them on till Christmas. I don't know why this is so amusing to me. She told me that breaking the rules upset other members and that I should respect their rules even if I don't follow them because I technically live in the neighborhood. Excuse me, you live in my neighborhood. I was here before all of you. This is my turf. She offered me a flyer which apparently had their rules for lights. I tossed it in the trash and told her to get off my property. I probably could have entertained some of what she asked, but I've had enough of them. Oh my goodness. No, you're not a jerk. The top comment here says, no, just no, not the jerk. I'm so tired of unhappy people trying to ruin Christmas for others. So go Griswold, my dude. Advertise it. I guarantee you will bring way more cheer and happiness than you will upset people. Your neighbor's kids probably love the lights too. The comment in this is tell them every time they complain you'll put up another strand of lights. People are really upset about the tiniest things. Y'all, it is the season of cheer and light and happiness and giving, and just leave people alone. Let this person put up their lights. Am I the jerk for buying a Christmas wreath? Okay, my fiance, female, and I, male, moved into our first home in October of this year, yay! And we bought Christmas decorations and put them up on the 1st of December. In my family, it is a tradition to put a wreath on the front of the door. However, my fiance's family have never put up a wreath because it upsets her mom because of her deceased granddad. This is projection. Okay, fine, I'm reading. Both my fiance and I put up the decorations thinking nothing of it, but when my mother-in-law came over, she refused to step inside of the house and is saying she won't come over. She usually comes to look after our kids until we throw it away. Yo, these people have problems. We said we would just take it down when she came over, but that wasn't good enough for her. Not your house, not your rules. Because we are going against her wishes, she is saying she doesn't want to go to our wedding on the 21st. I'm stubborn and won't throw it away because it is our home. So am I the jerk and what would you do? Edit. She doesn't like wreaths as her and her granddad would put them up together and it makes her sad and she misses him. Bit of extra info. He's been dead for 28 years. Okay. This woman is stuck at a time capsule, and her behavior is not appropriate. The way that she's responding to these things is not appropriate. Will she see her behavior as irrational and inappropriate? No, because she has something that she's holding on to that she needs to work through, hopefully with a good therapist. This is a hurt person wanting everybody to accommodate them. If someone in my family was super passionate about a tradition or something, I would want to carry that tradition on, even though the person's not there. So I would want to be part of a wreath hanging with someone in my family, or do it with my grandkids or something. Like it's because of the sentimental value, and then you can pass that on to the other people in your family. What kind of poppycock nonsense is this? Not the jerk. She sounds like she needs grief counseling if her excuse is real. But be honest, is it possible there is something else and she's using the wreath as an excuse not to come by? No, I don't think so. I think she's just wanting to control something because it makes her feel a certain way. And the fact that you would be so vindictive as to say, if you don't do what I want you to do, I'm not coming to your wedding. Good riddance to bad rubbish, woman. If you don't want to come, that's fine. But guess what? You have officially excluded yourself from everything else that deals with this family. You don't have to put up with the nonsense if you don't want to put up with the nonsense. Oh, ew, okay. Well, the next one's a little gross. Am I the jerk for puking in my mother-in-law's Christmas decorations? Christmas decorations is in quotes. My wife and I went over to help her mom put up her Christmas decorations. My mother-in-law made us supper, and then we got to work. I do not know what it was, but something made me ill. Maybe it was supper. Maybe it was the mold from the boxes of decorations. Maybe God hates me. But when I was in the garage, my mouth started watering and I knew I was going to hurl. Luckily for me, in the box of decorations, there were a bunch of plastic 1-gallon tubs of ice cream. I grabbed one and emptied my stomach into it. Then I noticed my mother-in-law, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, and wife looking at me like they were watching me piss in a pool. I did not know that the plastic tub I grabbed was integral to the decorative theme. My father-in-law had collected those tubs and cut grooves and holes in them to hold lights. My wife took me into the house and told me off for doing that. It was literally just a plastic ice cream tub. I offered to go to the store, buy some ice cream, eat the ice cream, clean the tub. I don't know if eating the ice cream is in your best interest right now. And then cut the grooves and holes in it for the Christmas light. But I am apparently being a jerk for taking what I did lightly. My father-in-law passed away last year, which is why we are helping with the decoration. But it's just a plastic tub. Am I the jerk? You had a bout of sickness, and you were looking for a way to throw up decently without doing it all over people's stuff. I mean, you went for what seemed like the safest bet. Now, Reddit put that everyone sucks in the situation. I disagree. You can't control when you get sick. It's not like you planned that very moment to start vomiting or for something to not sit well with you. You're the jerk. You seem to have a gleeful, holier than thou attitude and taking joy in looking down on the supposed mold. And these people are extra. I don't agree. I'm not even going to read the rest of it. If y'all think that this person is a jerk, then you can put in the comments your reasoning as to why. But I think this is absolutely ridiculous. I think that apologizing might have been a good thing to do. If he hasn't apologized since then, I mean, yeah, it would be good to go, hey, I'm sorry that I downplayed the significance of this carton and I didn't know, but I'm not going, no, he's not the jerk. Y'all, we got one more. Am I the jerk for not wanting more Christmas decorations? Ooh, this is sensitive. Every year I get more Christmas decorations, probably more than I should. I have a budget for it and everything, but I always go over the budget. That's neither here nor there. Let's read the post. Holiday season is here, and my, male 34, wife, female 33, and I had an argument that blew up into something much bigger all over buying Christmas decorations very recently. The initial shopping cart my wife had from Amazon had over $300 of decorations. I asked her to bring it down closer to 100. She agreed, and I thought that was the end. A few days later, she went to spend time with her sister and came back with more decorations. I didn't say anything. Then yesterday, we were at Target looking for our annual couples ornaments. After finding some really cute ones, my wife wanted to keep looking. She ended up adding garlands, bows, and about $80 worth of decorations. Okay, this lady sounds like she needs an intervention like I did about a couple years ago. I put my foot down that this isn't what we agreed on, and she was really hurt I didn't budge. I recently bought a house, and we have been spending more than usual. For Halloween, we went all out and spent well over $300 between decorations and hosting a party. See, that's your problem, trying to impress other people in this new house that you purchased, celebrating a holiday that I didn't grow up celebrating. You should have just focused all of your intentions on Christmas. We in theory have a budget for personal spending, but that's not very well respected. That or the numbers are off. Okay, I'm just gonna read. But honestly, finances are the weakest part of our relationship, and any of my multiple voice concerns gets received very negatively. I'm concerned we'll drain our savings with death by 1,000 cuts, and she wants the house to feel homey. The argument is no longer about decorations and definitely getting out of hand. I can be emotionally numb, and she has very strong feelings. She feels I am financially controlling. I feel she's financially aloof. For what it's worth, we each have our own separate accounts and shared account for shared bills, but most of the big purchases somehow tend to come out of my savings. Oh, this is shady. And she knows how to create the most welcoming environment. So we are both at an impasse, and I feel like crap at the moment. And this maybe shouldn't have been a rant. I'm at a loss, and we will be seeking couples therapy. Am I the jerk for not wanting more Christmas decorations? No, you are not. I also think that the last sentence is pretty much where everybody is going to start giving advice anyway. This is a couples therapy issue. This is not a Christmas issue. This is not a Halloween issue. This is a couples therapy issue, and this is something that y'all should have worked out or talked about before getting married so that you could have your financial expectations in line. It also sounds like while you'd like to save and she'd like to spend, you probably don't have a good idea of how to save, and you don't have good boundaries, because what is she doing taking money out of your savings account if you've already agreed on having separate accounts where one of you has your money, and if she really wanted to take more decorations out on her dime, she could, but instead this lady is sneaky. She's sneaky, and that's a problem. You know what? Everybody branded this post as not the jerk, but I think everyone sucks here because you are not strong enough to put down some boundaries. She is not respecting you or your money, or no, let's see what everybody has to say. Not the jerk. If it was coming out of her own pocket, no harm, no foul. But since it sounds like it's coming out of the combined savings, then yeah, I wouldn't be too happy either. What if something broke or there was an emergency and you had no money to repair it and replace it because all the stuff was spent on Christmas? Even if the money was her own and she was working that's another point. What if she's already run through her money, so now she's going through your money? I'm not going down this rabbit hole. Not my monkeys, not my circus. Not the jerk. I do think therapy is good because this is about approaching the building of a home. You could also do basic finance classes together. Perhaps that might help. I agree. In general, you guys need to learn to budget together and identify essentials for your home, and now plan how to build it over time. Absolutely. It sounds like maybe she's just excited and is going overboard if she's not done this before, and maybe appearances are a thing, but also we live in a materialistic world, and so people will look at Pinterest boards and the way that other people do their homes and try and one-up them or be on that same level. I think that he should have gotten a bit more of a tongue lashing than he did because of the situation, and it takes two. She wouldn't do what she didn't think that she could get away with, and y'all should have had this discussion before getting married or before purchasing the house, and you should have realized that money wasn't her strong suit a while ago so that you guys could have worked together and done something to avoid all of this. And you need to get better at budgeting. I don't mean to sound like very high and mighty and all of that, but my parents did a good job of teaching me how to budget, and I hate when people are like, I have a budget and I have a savings, but my savings isn't being saved because I'm spending it. No. Okay, well, what is y'all's opinion about this particular situation? I am very curious to know what people think, and if I am somehow seeming too harsh, even if I am, I'm gonna stand by what it is. I'm gonna die on that hill, since that's the running theme for today. That is what I have for you today. I hope that you enjoyed this video and the content that we've put out. If you haven't seen those already, go ahead and check out the other videos that we've posted for Christmas up to this point, and I will be back tomorrow with another video. Thank you very, very much for your support. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and remember, as we always say on our channel, that with God, nothing is impossible. See you in the next one. Have a good day.